secret. I didn't use your video audio. I just used the stuff I pulled from Zoom.
Hey, man.
Because it sounded about the same, honestly.
And I just really good. Hey, man. Love the behind the scenes. Honestly, and that's important because I got some good feedback from people saying it sounded really great. So,
okay. Yeah.
I think we've done the proper investments. I think audio quality is a big part of podcasting. And when I was listening back, I'm like, yeah, man, this sounds really good.
I think audio quality is important, but it's always secondary to quality of the actual conversation, which we did get good feedback on. I think we got a good, there's some dynamism here. So I think it's working out.
Ooh, not dynamism.
I didn't mean to, like, no pun intended with the AEW Dynamite, but if you're here for dad puns, you're going to get them on this half of the aisle, at least. Sorry about that.
If you're here for stoner puns, you're going to get them.
All right.
But yeah, man. Actually, I want to kind of start there. Shout out to anybody who actually listened. I really greatly appreciate it. And I know Philip does as well.
Yeah,
and
of course.
A lot of you gave a ton of feedback too, which was all very positive and all very into what we're doing. And honestly, it's a lot of fun to be able to mark the fuck out with somebody else and have a great time and talk about wrestling, because that's what wrestling should be about.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be about like, just because we're talking about AEW doesn't mean we hate WWE. No, we actually, I really love WWE. Like, you're never going to get me to stop loving WWE. But right now, I want to talk about the stuff that makes me really happy. You know what? Yeah. And I'm going to keep doing it because I have all my trust in this company on a week in and a week out basis. Every day of the week, you can absorb some sort of AEW content and you're going to love it. And it's beautiful. And it's really cool to see my friends who weren't really into mainstream wrestling, who dipped out because they didn't really like stuff. Now all this stuff is happening and they're like way back in. They're going to AEW shows. They're fucking buying the merch. They're tweeting about AEW. Like, man, you know, like, I was out there on a lonely island. It felt like, Phil, like I really felt like I was out there. Like I was the supermark man, but I watched all of it, right? I watched AEW, WWE, NXT. Like I absorbed it all. And a lot of people weren't into mainstream wrestling. And then like, it was always like Tulo's doing that stuff. So, you know, check out Tulo. And I'm like, I'm down. No, please. Like, I love it. But like now it brings me so much joy to see those people being like, whoa, AEW fucking rules. And that's why we're doing this, man. Like, that's what it's all about. Like, there's no denying it, like, at all.
I've always come from, even with I don't mean to plug it too much, but with my other podcasts, it's like, I want to talk about things I like. I want to talk about things that bring me joy and things I like talking about. And so, like, obviously, I mentioned it before, when you approached me with this idea, I was like, well, yeah, because it's going to be fun to talk about, because I'm really enjoying it. You know, like you said, you were like, you know, Dr. Manhattan as a supermark all alone on Mars, but now you've come back. You've got a community with you now. So
yes,
and we're going to build that even more with this show as it'll slowly grow. And join us. And
if you're listening to this, on Stoke County Boys Pod.
Stokes County, Stokes.
Is it Stokes with an S?
Yeah.
See, isn't it funny? Because I've been having a lot of anxiety about this recently.
Yeah, no worry about it.
I keep botching it, but I also do something smart. I say it both ways. So half the time I'm wrong. I'm always like, is it Stoke or Stokes? So it's Stokes County Boys Pod, right? Yeah, that's where you're going to be listening to this now, because for this week and maybe next week, we are going to be releasing the pod on Philip and Patrick's podcast, which we had the blessing to do for the time being until we can get this thing going, because we're workshopping some names right now. Front runner, the Mark Order, an AEW pod. You know, I think it's great. I think it's great so far. But you know what? Sometimes things happen, and then we're like, that's the pod name, right? And
I think we want to feel real good about it. It's like naming your dog or something like that. You got to let it. You got to sit with the dog a little bit. You got to have it, you know, sleep and pee and poop on your carpet, and you got to pet it and see its habits and things like that.
It eats holes in your socks. Oh, the fucking worst. And then you're just like, the Mark Order. real quick off the beat story here. There's a dog that like is at my job. Like he works with one of the maintenance guys. And since I'm on like 289 acres of property, having a dog is like a normal thing, you know?
Yeah. Just wandering around.
And his name is Dude. And I'm like, Dude is the greatest dog name of all time. What a great dog name. Yo, Dude, come here. Get over here, dude. It's like, but yeah, anyway. But yeah, so we're going to work on some things. We're going to get this out soon, and we'll have a name and we'll have a logo, and we're going to roll with this, man, because it's really a lot of fun, and I'm pumped to talk about it. I lost the bet because apparently we listened back. That's right. And we picked everything the same except for, what was it?
It was the FTR Sting Darby match.
Right.
And you went with FTR. Well, it's funny because I was listening back and you were like, I was saying, I think the good guys are going to win. It's going to be Sting and Darby. And you're like, yeah, I think so too. And then right after saying that, you said, I'm going to go with FTR. So I was like, oh, yes. Because I was tallying up as I was going back through the episode.
We would have picked all the same things. It would have been the whole entire thing would have been the same. It's so funny. But yeah, man, what a fucking 4 hours of wrestling that we got to absorb into our brains and eyeballs. Shout out to everybody who was there. Dan Black, host of the Comedians of Wrestling podcast, walking around with the cow title, was there. I had a bunch of friends there. Alex, Queen of the Ring. My buddy Tony Zacharias was actually the dude sitting hard cam front row in the ECFNW shirt. You
for real?
Saw him the whole entire night. Yeah, that's my buddy Tony. Actually, his brother Zach is the creator of the Hot Guy Detour song. And
there we
Tiptoe
go.
Tulo song. So a lot of cool things. Yeah. So shout out to everybody that went and turned up, because I'm going to go right into Merch Maven from North Carolina to New York just for this. I mean, this is proof. People are traveling from distant lands to go and see this. Like, to go to Queens, New York, Arthur Ashe Stadium, and travel there from outside of New York is a really cool thing to do as a fan. And it was worth it because, man, that show was stacked from the beginning. You knew it was going to be amazing. And the proof is in the pudding. They started it all off with Omega and Daniel Bryan. Okay.
I was so surprised.
Bryan Danielson. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, that's okay. It's been like 10 years that way, so it's okay.
Kenny Omega and Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, right? He returns. And there's a moment that happens in this match, and I was hysterically crying. It's the bell rings and the crowd simultaneously. It was like, I've never seen anything like it before in my whole entire life. Ever. The bell rings and everybody just stands up out of their seat and starts screaming at the top of their lungs.
It was a celebration.
The loudest pop I've ever heard in my life, Philip.
I know. It was beautiful. And the one thing I love is, like, Danielson couldn't help but smile because it was just joy, you know. But good old, my boy, Kenny Omega, I love him more and more every day. And he was serious the whole time. Dude. And he was in it the whole time. And the way I knew he was is because he come out and he had the first pair of pants, AEW pants that I've liked. You know, they look good.
Blue and white ones, right?
Yeah, and they had some, and it had that little flappy thing on the side. It's kind of an homage to that. There's like this asymmetry in Japanese gear that I've noticed. You'll see it more in like Joshi wrestling. Like, look at what Shida, Hikaru Shida. She'll have this big flowy thing just on one leg, you know. Mm-hmm. And I'm not. It kind of throws me off because I'm really, I guess maybe it's just a Western mindset, I'll say. But the thing about like symmetry and everything, but I'm learning to appreciate it. Anyways, but the other thing I noticed, he trimmed that facial hair. He pulled it back, you know, he didn't get rid of it, but he kind of pulled it back so it didn't look so prominent, so ridiculous. The whole time I'm like, is this like a 2002 Triple H parody that he's doing with that facial hair? But he pulled it back because it's like, we're not, no distractions here. We're getting serious. And I just love that.
I won't say I love the pants, but I will say that I appreciate the pants.
Okay.
I think pants still do way better. I didn't like the Christian Cage match pants as much as I originally thought. I go back and watch them, but I appreciate the change. So I've been saying this for a long time.
Yeah, I think I've heard you say
he knows what he's fucking doing, man. Okay. Let me tell you something about Kenny Omega and my relationship with Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
For a long time, I almost felt like I was getting emotional there for a second, but I'm not.
It's okay.
For a long time, I didn't really know who Kenny Omega was. And all I heard was Kenny Omega this, Kenny Omega that. And I watched some of his stuff and always felt like, all these matches go on forever. It was I didn't really get NJPW like that. And it's like, his matches go on forever. It's V-Trigger, V-Trigger, V-Trigger. Man, this guy's fucking overrated, right? And I remember it was like 2019 maybe. What was his last Wrestle Kingdom match? I don't know. I think 2018.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, right? And he comes out, and right before it, I'm like, man, I remember cashing in on the cow pod. I was like, man, Kenny Omega's overrated, dude. I'm just going to say it. Like, I don't get all that jazzed up. And I'm up in fucking 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, whatever time it is, watching this motherfucker come out in a video game entrance. He's got this insane one-wing angel gear that he's rocking with tells a whole story before he even gets to the ring. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I just called the best wrestler in the world overrated. I feel so dumb. He didn't even do anything yet. And I'm like, fuck, I'm a fucking idiot, dude. It's like, I get Kenny Omega way more now. Like, he does this, man. And when it's time to turn it up, just wait. I always knew like the best was yet to come with him in AEW. Like, he ain't losing that title. It ain't happening.
Yeah.
Like, and it's going to take something really crazy for it to happen because he is legit that damn good, and he has not even reached that fucking next gear. And every time you think he runs out of gears, he doesn't. He doesn't. Full gear, by the way. Minnesota.
Minneapolis, St. Paul. Oh, it was a Target Center. That's where it is.
November 13th.
But, I mean, this match was so good. It was so good. And then, like, I mean, there's so much you could go into. Maybe we don't want to spend so much time on it. But
okay.
I think I mentioned to you that I was going to watch it again. I didn't quite have time for it, but I'm definitely going to. I've been wanting to watch it. It's like one of those movies. You know when you watch like a really good movie?
Yeah.
And it sticks with you. And the next day you wake up and you're thinking about it. Mm-hmm. And even maybe the day after, it's just, there's something, it's running around your head. This match was like that for me. It was like something that it was just sticking with me. And to me, that's kind of like a mark of like just good art. If we can get a little, maybe a little too much, but a little intellectual here, but like it stuck with me. And I was just thinking about it. It was running through my head all week. I mean, there's just little stuff that I love, like Daniel Bryan doing the "I have till 5," when he had a like a break hold. He used to do that in the Indies. He did that when he was a heel, like early on, like 2012 and WWE. I mean, there's just so many cool things that I don't want to go through.
Beautiful, man. It was just beautiful. It honestly was. I'm just gonna say, just starting off the night with it, it's just like, god damn. And like Punk even came out and was like, how are we supposed to follow that up? Like, what the fuck, assholes? There's 3 more out. There's fucking 3.5 more hours of this shit, you idiots. What the fuck are you doing? I'm supposed to come out here and cut a promo. I mean, it's a good thing I'm the most over fucking person in fucking wrestling right now.
I mean, the thing is it had to go first because one, there wasn't a clear finish. They did a time limit, which they kind of foretold it because the announcers kept talking about it. And so I was like, it might go time. So they had to, in that way. Also, since it was going 30 minutes, they had to make sure it was all on TV. And then...
Right. Was there a commercial break?
There was one. But,
right? Was it picture-in-picture?
Yeah.
I don't Excalibur reminded us.
Yeah. I can't even watch I'll usually skip through those because I can't see the little... Nope. It doesn't do anything for me.
That's phone time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but the thing is like what I loved was like Omega wasn't acting like his kind of heel self until that really big V trigger where he ran all the way down the ramp, and which was an amazing spot.
This was hands down, without a doubt, the best production setup and show.
All that ramp.
4 hours of it. that has ever happened for AEW. Hands down. Totally. I said it was going to be one of the best wrestling nights in the history. Like anybody who was there and going, I was like so happy for them. I was so jealous, so much FOMO. But like, man, did that stage look awesome. And not to mention, they had the crowd up behind the stage too, up there, staring through that LED fucking chandelier that pretty much is still only there for Cody Rhodes, I think, at this point. But like the tunnels, that LED ramp, when it turned to Rampage, there was just lightning bolts going through it.
Yeah,
like,
that was cool.
Like, come on, man. 10 out of 10. All right, so I heard Arthur Ashe, not that great of a stadium. But they ran out of shit. Lines were so long. It smelled in there. I think it was like musty. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, you're at a wrestling show with 21,000 stinky
That's true.
fans.
That's true.
And it's a dome. Like they could have just aired it out. So even like, and with those kind of domes, it just gets weird in there, I think. If the ventilation's not good. But man, they just delivered. It was so sick. And like that match just ruled. I mean, there's really not much more. I don't even have any real big notes to say about it.
Well, yeah, I think I kept putting like, this is awesome. This is amazing. That was insane. So just watch it. But the one thing I will note, some little things like after that V-trigger, what I wanted to say earlier was Omega then started being kind of cocky and making faces. Before that, he wasn't doing it until he thought he had the advantage and kind of had it. And then he started like acting up.
He didn't win a Snapdragon on that fucking ramp too, right?
Yes, he did. He also did one from the like second or top rope too.
Oh my God, that's right. Oh.
Yeah.
So many crazy things that happened in that match. I can't wait to go back and watch it. 100% rewatch.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I really loved was like the time limit. It wasn't like a count, like a fall. 1, 2, time's up. But they just kept going after each other. And it was like the time was up. They had tried to call the match, but they weren't done. And it was,
it was schmaz.
Yeah. Oh, that too.
We predicted schmaz. No schmaz until the end. And then the Elite do their thing, like so.
No, it was great though. It was great.
Well, I have a question for you. Did you get spoiled on anything on Rampage before you watched it?
No, I was very, very careful. Yeah.
It wasn't even I had to be careful. I think people are just good at it. Like, why spoil it?
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
I think AEW fans are like kind of pretty good at it,
You're right. That was.
And why would you want to get nice. Like that's kind of like when SmackDown used to tape their shows, right? And like you kind of knew because there was like sheets, write-ups and stuff like, oh, this is what's gonna happen on SmackDown tonight. Like, where do we go next? I mean,
well, there was the Punk promo, but I think that was really put there. Thinking about it, we were like, cut that out. But I think that was put there as a great placement because of the intensity of that first one. So it was just to like calm the crowd down, essentially.
Yeah, I wanted to mention there's something I really love so much, and it's that promo that happens before the main event of Rampage.
Oh, yeah.
Henry's interviewing the two sides. It feels like a Mortal Kombat kind of weird thing going on. I don't know what it is. Where's that from? I feel like that's from something. Is that just an old school wrestling thing that used to happen? Like that, those kind of promos?
Usually they wouldn't do it like in split screens like that. But, they used to do it. If you watch like old wrestling, one guy would cut a promo, walk to the ring, and the other guy would respond and walk to the ring. So it's kind of like that, but I kind of like the way they do it where they
side by side. It was so like, it was like cool. It was like, oh, this is what's about to happen, like right before the match, right? And then I love Mark Henry saying, it's time for the main event. I know. And I'm like, yes, let's go.
It's kind of goofy, but I like it. I don't care. It's just like,
no,
I'm excited for it. But I look that it's only on Rampage too, so it differentiates that main event from that show from any other thing that's going on. So
yeah, they feel like two completely different shows with the same roster. I think that's what's so important about not splitting up your roster. I think you just have to tell stories across naturally as they happen. Like you have to. Like they have a ton of wrestlers and a ton of places to showcase the wrestlers. So it was awesome. And I'll kind of go into that match too, because that match was kind of funny in the sense of, man, was I really anticipating like this massive pop for Eddie Kingston, and they didn't even give it to you. They just cut it short.
I know.
The attack happens, right?
I know.
So I was like, but then Eddie starts to get over, right? And stuff that he's doing. But I love how in a unsanctioned match, they don't even fucking go for pins. They just trying to beat the absolute living shit out of each other. There was not one pin attempt until the pinfall that happened at the end. There was like moves that were happening that weren't even really submissions. It was just like Suzuki fucking choking out Moxley with his hands tied behind his back and a leather strap around his neck.
Right.
What a wild match. And it's so cool that fucking exists. Yo, I just got to give so much fucking props to Moxley, man. This guy is so awesome. And I just watched this. You have to check it out. I don't know if you saw it, but you probably did. It's Moxley and Gage. They do this like build up to their match that they're having in Atlantic City coming up. I think not this weekend, the weekend after. And they're about to have a match. And man, they just tell this story. And like, dude, Jon Moxley's the fucking man. There's nothing else that's left to say. Like, Moxley's the man. Like, he's so on another level, and he's the epitome of like just giving a guy creative freedom and just letting him do what he was born to do. And he's all time, like, he's gonna go down this run that he's on AEW, crossing over to GCW, going on to NJPW, doing all this. Who's doing this?
Nobody.
It's incredible, man. And he's getting his ass beat.
Well, the one thing I was thinking about this too is like, I've just noticed slowly, he's like putting on weight, but it's not like in a bad way.
Yeah.
It's because he's brawling, he's putting on like brawler weight so he can take that punishment, his body can take it. I mean, he's beefing up, but you can tell he's just putting on some like, beefy. Yeah. So, but he looks awesome.
I would even say that he is one of the most believable professional wrestlers in the world. Like, I just see him and I'm like, that dude's taking beatings every week and he's out there and they're like he's the most believable guy. Like, see Jon Moxley coming down from the crowd in like a vest and he's ready to fucking fight. He would throw hands if this was what the sport was. Like, that's a guy who just gets it. And it's so cool to watch that exist. And he's with Eddie and like Homicide comes in and he's crossing over it, man. It's just beautiful. Like, it's just awesome.
Yeah, I know. Awesome. And well, to that, where you're talking about Moxley, he's one of the only people that could go up against Suzuki, who's just like this insane brute of an old dude. Moxley can go up against him and they can just beat the hell out of each other. And it looks awesome and it looks believable and it looks great, And I just love Moxley going against all these like New Japan talent. It's so cool. I want to see more of it.
There's honestly, man, it's like, I'm like, my brain, I can't even wrap it around. Like, all right, let's just talk about Britt Baker and Britt Baker just being so fucking good. Like, I don't understand how a wrestler has gotten this good in this amount of time as a champion. Like, she is undoubtedly easily one of the best champions across all of wrestling.
The complete turnaround, like a year, has been incredible. It's amazing.
I have to do the comparison because it's just too much of a parallel analogy. But you talk about Becky Lynch and you talk about Britt Baker, right? And I'm just going to specifically talk about moments. So Becky, bloody face Becky with her nose broken.
Mm-hmm. And then
that Britt Baker death match, match. Like,
with Thunder Rosa.
Like, she also had her bloody nose, but then that bloody nose, like, kind of gave Britt this identity. And then Britt turned that into, all right, well, I gotta pull out all the stops. I gotta prove to everybody that, like, I'm not just a broken, bloody nose wrestler. I will fucking do whatever it takes to win matches. Like, and she lost that match too. Remember that. So that was like, talk about a career defining moment. Boom, right there.
Well, the actual parallel is Stone Cold Brett at WrestleMania 13, because Stone Cold bleeds out, passes out, loses that match, but you don't remember that. You just remember Stone Cold being the best ever after that.
It's so fucking perfect, dude. Damn. Wow. I'm like, my markdom is, my brain is like,
there's steam coming out of his ears.
I was just about to say my markdoms is exploding. And you know what? Honestly, that's what's happening.
Yes. But there's a lot in that Britt Ruby match. Like, I thought it was really good. It was solid. There's one thing I loved was it was early on in the match. Britt Baker does this like neck breaker onto the outside. And as soon as she lands it, she just takes a look at the camera, like smirks at the camera. I love when she like mugs at the camera in the middle of a match. And it's just like every time you're just like, Yep, she's working it the whole time. That's some professional wrestling right there. When they're always working the camera, the audience, and making it look good. And
I forgot what interview she did. She did an interview, I think it was maybe Renee, and she talked about the moment when she figured out the red lights on the camera and how follow the red lights on the camera. That's how you know what to work to. So if you watch Britt Baker, there's never a moment where she's not looking at the camera unless she's looking at her opponent. But when it's time to get a reaction, when she delivers a line, she'll always turn and she'll know that red light is right on fucking hard cam. So you get her facial reactions. She just gets the business. She's that good. I mean, the Pittsburgh fucking sunrise or whatever she's calling it now. The Pittsburgh
that's funny.
And she cheated to win. It's what heels do. It doesn't matter how over she is. This is what wrestling is supposed to be, okay? You cheer for who you like. You like Batman, but you also like the Joker, okay? Ain't nobody hate the fucking Joker. Everybody loves the fucking Joker, right? Who hates the Joker? Nobody. Britt Baker is that kind of parallel. It's she's just too damn good. She's too undeniable to not love her. So and the crowd isn't going to boo her, but they're just going to cheer her doing her shit because it's so awesome. It's going to take a baby face of epic proportions. Wasn't Ruby Soho.
No, but it was fine.
It's not Chris Statlander. So it's going to have to be somebody that's going to come in here and either win the crowd over from within AEW or it's going to be someone from the outside. I'm not sure who that is.
I got an idea. I'll talk about it later. Okay. All right. Because one thing I want to talk about is this Malachi Black Rhodes match.
Oh my God.
Because I love this one a lot, even from the beginning. Once again, I talked about it last week, Malachi Black's entrance. And just every time he adds to it, his look and everything. This time he had this red eye.
And the red lights.
Sick. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He added the red light. Yes. Thank you for that. But, every time there's a little bit more. And if you've noticed, that little black spot carried over from something that happened in WWE where he injured his eye. But it's slowly grown and grown and grown. And in this match, you can see there's a little bit of that makeup behind his ear. I don't know if you noticed
everywhere.
That. Yeah.
It's like reverse Venom almost.
Yes. Yeah. But Cody Rhodes, people, I've listened to other stuff and people keep talking. It's what is he doing? I can't believe this. It's he's got to turn heel at some point. And I'm it's already happened, baby.
Yeah.
Because I showed you that. I sent that picture. Somebody had the back shot. You said they had the crowd above that chandelier.
Yeah.
Well, this asshole's coming up from that platform coming up. And then he's walking. He's got a train. That cape was a train 20 feet
it's
long.
100 feet worth of fucking cape?
Yeah.
He brings out Brandy too.
Another thing, she's working on another level too, because she posted something on social media and she's, looking all fit and stuff. She's 3 months postpartum. And I know there's so many moms out there that want to just give her the double bird and say, fuck you.
He's always done that. He's always had that type of reaction for me. I've always loved to hate Cody. I just never bought into the whole Cody Rhodes thing, Never did. But I know that's the markdom in me. I'm the super mark. I understand my own markdom. Okay, people. Okay, people.
It's self-aware.
I'm very self-aware of my markdom. I know. And I'm just laughing at how funny it is.
I love it.
Everybody is booing him so much. And it's so incredible in so many different type of ways that it's just God, Malachi Black is the baby face in this. And he's lured that heel out of Cody.
Yeah.
Honestly, feels very Bray Wyatt-esque of what Bray would do to his opponents. Like I said from the beginning, we are not a podcast that hates WWE, but you have to respect art when art is there. And when Bray was doing this whole Fiend thing, and you can tell he was changing people. I really feel like that is a really great thing for Malachi Black to encompass. He should be able to play this in between heel and face role where he just transforms you like into this other being. Like, and honestly, if Cody's got the show coming out, he's the fucking executive vice president, he shows up and wrestles when he wants, where he wants, or whatever the fuck he wants to do.
I say, and this is what I see, and I think you're onto something, and I like it. But I think what he's really doing, he's not transforming anybody. He's lifting that veil of what they really are. And Cody Rhodes, deep down, is a pretentious asshole, and he's pulling that back. That's a little too self-important, grandiose, has illusions of grandeur, so much that he'll have a 20-foot-long cape, push his wife out, 3 months after she's had a baby.
She couldn't help herself. Had to get involved. Slides into the ring, sits right in front of Malachi. Malachi's just laughing. He's like, can you believe it? Look at these people.
It's because he's like, I've already won.
Yeah, man. He's fucking knows.
Great thing. Right at the end, Cody hits the ref. He elbows the ref. And so you see that, like, people are like, is he going to turn heel? No, he's already doing it. He elbowed the ref. He got frustrated, elbowed the ref. And then what do we get, Tulo? The Black Mist, right?
Oh, man, dude. I was hoping he was going to miss them. I was hoping.
You thought that beforehand? I had no idea it was coming.
I'm like, he's under the ring. I'm like, oh, my God. I don't know what thread I was in or where I was, but I was saying it. I'm like, missed them. Please fucking miss them. It would be so amazing. And the Black Mist, dude. He's got the black mass and the black mist.
There we go. Now, do you know about the different color mists?
No. So this is something I would like to be educated on, please.
Okay, so I don't have everything, but I had to ask, my co-host on the Stokes County Boys, lifelong friend. We've been friends since we were 10 years old. Patrick, my good buddy Patrick, because he knows. Because back in the day when he was a little kid, he was always watching those Sting Great Muta matches, and so he learned about the mist. The green mist, which you would see like Asuka, that's kind of a basic, you just got spit in the face. It disorients you because, you just got, somebody spit some in your face.
Yeah.
The black mist is the blinding mist, okay? So we got to watch out. What happens to Cody next? If he's a true student of the game, we got to see if he comes out and he has some vision issues. So I'm hoping there's something involved there. Okay, the worst one, which causes paralysis, is the yellow. So you got to watch the yellow mist. You don't want to get that. Sting got that in a Clash of the Champions back in the day, and JR was going crazy, like, oh, he's paralyzed him. The Great Muta gave it to him.
Shit.
So thanks to Patrick, we got that information.
I gotta watch that match.
Black, yeah. He sent it. I'll send you the YouTube link. He sent it to me the other night when I was asking him about it. Of course, you got a good friend when I'm like,
yeah.
All right, can you tell me what does the black mist mean? And 2 seconds later, I got the answer, and then I got the full rundown of all the others. But yeah, black mist.
Perfect. And then you were able to. What a student of the game you are. You're able to fucking then take that, absorb it all, and teach me about it. Yeah, I'm never gonna forget that.
No. All right. So black mist vision, it's blinding. So we got to see what happens in the future. So
think Cody will have like crazy things with his eyes? What's your prediction? What do you think? I think
he'll do something. Yeah. He knows these things. Maybe because that's the thing. Like, he knows what's going on. He'll come. Yeah, he might come out with like dark sunglasses. He might be kind of stumbling to the ring. His wife will be kind of guiding him. Something like that. Yeah. I just hope so. But this is the other thing I wrote down. I said, unlike, the heels like the Young Bucks and like Kenny Omega, Cody doesn't wink at the camera. And I think that's what throws people off. It's because there's so many like heels, and it's a big influence from like the NWO, I think, and like the Click from back in the day. There's like a little, and DX, of course, there's like this little wink at the camera, like this kind of postmodern heel that's just kind of like, we know what's going on. And we're bad guys, but we're so cool. Cody doesn't do it. And I think that's what throws people off because I think it's good. I think he knows what he's doing. And people don't like him because he wants them not to like him, even though he's coming out pretending to be the ultimate good guy, the superhero.
He's doing like the whole Superman thing, right?
Yeah,
like
but he's not winking. Yeah.
Right. And then he did that whole little other Superman thing, right? Didn't he do what's it called? When he dyed his hair and stuff?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He like all of a sudden was like black and red Cody. And it was like,
right,
oh, okay, right. We get it, Cody. Like you're doing that version of Superman now. Great. Okay.
Well, yeah, you're saying earlier, like Batman versus Joker. This is more like Batman versus Superman.
Yes.
And, a lot of people hate Superman.
Yeah, yeah.
And Cody's Superman.
Yeah. And it's fine. I'm here for it. It's fucking epic. And it's so cool because they'll tell that story. Like, and they'll, that's what you can trust. Like, even if this was to go on, like, I was like, all right, is this the end of Malachi and Cody? But I think what I've realized? So this is an interesting discussion is, we can kind of like go through the rest of the stuff real quick, but like,
yeah,
the fallout from Dynamite and Rampage, what is it? Right? So Kenny's already said no rematch for Daniel Bryanson, right? Right,
it's all good. I'm having a hard time. I have to like
Daniel
pause.
Bryanson. That's a good one.
Yeah.
We should call the show the Daniel Bryanson Show. People would tune in. They know. But yeah, so like, what's going to be the fallout from that? All right, fucking Mox in that tag team match that we talked about. I don't even know what's the fallout from that, right? So I feel like we're getting a reset, right? Mm-hmm. We're gonna get a full reset of a lot of things that are coming up right before full gear. So we have probably like almost 2 months, less than a month and a half worth of wrestling, 2 shows, Dark and Elevation to start building some new fresh feuds. And one I'm really excited about because of the match that happened is Adam Cole versus fucking Jungle Boy.
Oh,
that is on Dynamite next week, I think, or Rampage. One of the fucking two.
Yeah.
I mean,
I love it.
Talk about a fucking match, a perfectly like designed match of who you would want to see wrestle each other. And it's fucking Adam Cole, baby, versus Jungle Boy.
You know what I love about this, and it's like with AEW, what you're seeing is, there's some of these like AEW originals like Jungle Boy, and now these other people coming in, and you're thinking of like, oh my God, it would be awesome to see this person, like Adam Cole fight this person, Adam Cole fight this person, and they're doing it. And that's what's the awesome thing. And the other thing is, these guys want to do it too, because they're reinvigorated by these different matchups too. And they're like, I want to, Punk said it. He's like, hey, Powerhouse Hobbs. Let's talk about that match. That was a fun match. I mean, I love Powerhouse Hobbs.
I think Punk's got some ring rust to fucking shed.
Yeah.
Very quickly. Like,
but he acknowledged it too.
The boy better be fucking getting in there and working like he definitely has 7 years of ring rust. And
I don't mind it though. Like it makes sense.
I don't mind it. It's fine. He's still finding ways to win. So they could tell. That's how they should tell this story. It's like, yeah, I got ring rust. I've been away for 7 years. I just got back into the fucking ring. But guess what? I'm not damn good. I'm still fucking winning.
Exactly, yeah. One thing I loved was when he got up to do the Macho Man elbow. Right before he jumped, he was like, it's been a while.
Yeah. He kind of mouthed it. He's like, oh, fuck. He's like, maybe I shouldn't have done this.
Yeah.
But he nailed it. That was actually a stiff elbow drop. Stiff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That one hit hard. And man, Hobbs. So what's next for... Is it Punk versus Ricky? I mean, if we get CM Punk versus Ricky Starks.
Some people are complaining about Ricky Starks on commentary, but I actually liked it because you barely heard from him. But anytime he would chime in, it was really good. I thought it was just funny. It was either really funny or
anybody
it was a great point.
That fucking complains about Ricky Starks, man.
I love him.
Fucking I love him. Eat my you know what, all right, buddy? Yeah. Okay, because that guy is just a professional wrestler. Yeah. Like, to the T. Incredible on the mic, just slick, can wrestle with anybody. Him versus Punk would be a fucking insane match.
Now, here's what we need though, is like, if Ricky Starks, like Punk's got to, I think he's winning a little bit to work up to Starks. He's got to lose to Ricky Starks, I think. I would like to see that. Because that's what, like, Jericho does it from time to time. Yeah. And I think that's what these older guys should be doing is eventually like these guys like Ricky Starks or Jungle Boy, some of these like future stars of AEW. They got to beat these elder statesmen eventually.
Well, that's why I talked about like 2022. I think when 2022 comes around, we're going to be in this like fucking groove for AEW where the fucking people are making a name for themselves. There's only so long you can hold guys like Jungle Boy, like even up and comers that they just signed, Lee Moriarty, like names that you just are like, oh my God, they got all these guys here and these ladies here, these women here that are just like insane talents, like a Kylan King and like people like this that just keep coming through these doors and just keep coming through. And then they sign them. Yo, the more they keep getting to work, the faster they're going to be ready to fucking wrestle these guys. And they better watch out because a lot of these wrestlers right now and these indie wrestlers, they were the ones putting in a lot of work, man. A lot. And now they're getting the opportunity and everybody's going for it. It's a very exciting time. And we saw a lot of that.
I mean, sometimes I just sit back and I'm just like, we're seeing Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega. This is amazing. Dude, we're seeing CM Punk in 2021. I had honestly just been like, he's not coming back. I'm not going to even entertain the thought.
There's just so much, man. And it's crazy. Like, I'm trying to even, and what are we missing? Like, I mean, Adam Cole and the Young Bucks, the Super Click is the coolest thing.
It was fun.
It's so great. That 8-man tag match was absolute fucking insanity. I mean,
dude, you see Santana and Ortiz. Did you notice their get up?
Oh yeah, Mets and Yankees, fucking the Warriors. Stuff
the baseball Furies. Yeah. That was awesome.
So, and they were half Mets and half Yankees face paint too. Yeah, man, it's just cool to see those guys get the opportunity to go out there in front of their home crowd. Private Party coming out, dude. Those guys make me laugh so much, dude. And they come out to the shots, everybody. Yo, I saw these dudes at House of Glory, man. I've seen them come up, dude, and they're just, those guys are so talented, and they just talk about getting an opportunity align with Matt Hardy and just making the most of it, man. Those guys are always on TV, so that was a lot of fun. I'm enjoying this little Alley Cat, Penelope Ford, and Anna Jay kind of brass knuckles with Ty Conti kind of thing that's happening too. I like how the women are getting like, good. I think something's coming. I heard either mid-card title, but I really think they're going to institute women's tag team titles because I think a mid-card title or tag team titles would be a good thing for the women to kind of show up on Dark and Elevation with, to start building kind of feuds over it and then getting it ready, prepared for Dynamite and Rampage.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I just forgot too how good Anna Jay is. Like, she's awesome. I mean, I think Penelope Ford's solid, but Anna Jay is she's really good. And it's only a matter of time before, I mean, they could build her up to beat Britt if they do it right. Maybe. Not soon, but it would take a while.
What's going on with the Dark Order? Like, it's like you could go. We got a hair for hair match coming up between Orange Cassidy and Jack Evans.
That was great. That was great. Jack Evans he's getting his head shaved.
Dude,
that'd be great. Okay, there's one thing I wanted to mention, and then I think we gotta move on. But obviously, if you haven't seen either one of these shows, if you don't have time for it's a lot. But if you don't have time, one thing you have to do is see that Kenny.
I'm telling you right now, Philip. Anybody that's listening to this has 100% watched it and probably watched the Kenny and Danielson match.
Okay, they've probably seen it twice before we did.
So, but if you're just tuning in and maybe you're a little casual of a fan, make sure you watch both of them, because honestly, it was 4 hours. All 4 hours were enjoyable wrestling.
Well, one thing I was thinking about, and you were like, where do we go with Kenny and Danielson? And Danielson's the type of person that would, and I hope he does this, he starts from the bottom. And I want to see him on like AEW Dark in that studio, racking up wins, and it'll get people watching that. And on Elevation, racking up wins, and finally he's going to work himself to the main event of Rampage, and then get on Dynamite, and he's going to, I want to see that.
Bro,
and
I could not agree with a take about a wrestler more than whatever you just said there, because it was all spot on. 100% from top to bottom. That's exactly what I want to happen. I think going dark and elevation, stack of wins, but wrestling those guys like the Lee Moriartys, like whoever else is down there. There's such good talent that's all across those brands. And then working his way up, coming on Rampage, having the matches with he's gonna have to wrestle Jungle Boy if he wants. If he's Jungle Boy's the 5th contender, like work your way up to the rankings, get yourself to that number 1.
I want to see like Danielson and Phoenix. I mean, think about that. I just broke your brain.
Oh my God,
broke your brain again.
I mean, there's so many Danielson and fucking Penta. I mean, like, like it's just nonstop across the board. There's just so many incredible wrestlers in this company now.
Yeah, and you know what I want to happen? He works his way up back to Kenny. Kenny beats him.
Yeah.
Because the only person I want to see take that title off of him is our boy. He's hanging around. He hadn't showed up yet, but it's our boy Hangman Page. It's got to happen that way, right?
I couldn't agree with a wrestling take more than I can agree with that wrestling take too.
They say good radio is like conflict.
Yeah,
but it's not always the case. We can agree.
UNITY, man. It's unity.
That's right.
So there was one thing we wanted to talk about. So there was this awesome Owen Hart Foundation collaboration with AEW, which is just like, yes, yes, like so awesome.
I was so surprised by this because, you hear so much about like Martha Hart wanting nothing to do, and you thought it was wrestling, but it made sense. It was as what is oh my God, what is Callis calling it, like Stanford Cybermax or something like that?
Yeah,
I can't remember what he's calling it. I might have to start lifting that term and just referring to it as that. But it was
Stanford
really
executive or something like that, or something.
I can't remember what he's calling it.
All right, we'll move on. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll move on. But I love that they're doing this. They're going to have this tournament in the name of Owen Hart, who, I mean, if you watch any of his matches, if you see anything he's done, you're going to love Owen Hart because he was so good. He was so awesome. I mean, just when he was a heel and he was carrying around those 2 slammies. I mean, that is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Him being so proud of those slammies.
Dude, man.
I think he stole one of them from somebody else, but
man.
Yeah, totally.
It's great because now we're going to have a tournament, right? And it's going to, who knows what that even means, and who knows when that's going to even start and who's going to show up for that. I think that should be like one of those tournaments that's like Forbidden Doors open, like, and you can get a lot of really great things. Also, it could be a really great up and coming tournament for them. And it also could be a really great way to just say Kevin Owens comes over and decides to sign with AEW and he just wins the whole thing. I mean, that's the beauty about this fucking show, dude. It's just like, you can't really start planning things because time matters here. Like in a month, there could be 2 new wrestlers who are just show up. Like the day a Bray Wyatt might show up, or a Kevin Owens, or a Sami Zayn, or a Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
There's no. I think there's no no's anymore with AEW, right? I think it's just like there's nothing that wouldn't happen, right? I think everything that the craziest things that could have possibly happened have happened.
Yeah.
Like CM Punk, crazy. Daniel Bryan becoming Bryan Danielson, that's crazy. Like, Roman Reigns, what's the difference between Roman Reigns. I mean, maybe The Rock. Is The Rock the biggest, like, oh my God, or Cena? Like, I guess those are the only 2, but like, I'm not even ruling those out either.
Right.
Let me tell you something. Tony Khan says, come over here and promote your new Fast and the Furious movie, Rock and Cena. They'll fucking come over here and promote it if they had to.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So I think it's time. I got to shed a little light in the dark for you, Tulo.
Love it. Go, baby.
Now, there's one I forgot last week. And part of the reason I didn't mention it, because I might have been introducing a segment that I was already kind of betraying a little bit, because it's not necessarily the best match, but it's from the AEW Dark from September 21st.
Okay.
There's like a tag match, and Brock Anderson's in it. And it's, the son of Arn Anderson. And it's like, Tulo, you ever have one of those dreams and you're in your house, but it's not really your house?
Yeah.
That is like watching Brock Anderson wrestle, because you can tell he's dressed. He kind of has been trained by his dad, but it's just off. And so it's like watching Arn Anderson wrestle, but you just know it's not him. And it was just fascinating to me, because in some ways I'm like, oh man, he's laying it in these like stomps in the corner. Mm-hmm. But then also he would do something else or move in a way you're just like awkward, because, he's still learning and he's figuring it out, and I'll give him that. But it was like this, like, uncanny valley of of professional wrestling. So
it reminds me of like Bob Backlund. Bob Backlund he's moving around the ring like shaking his head and like
exactly
just like stumbling around. Yeah. I mean, it's really funny that you say that, because and his tights are even better.
Yeah. So watch that one for kind of a little bit of a chuckle. Yeah. And then later, like I mentioned last week, check out those Anthony Green, Stallion Rogers, and FTR, which is like, okay.
It was like a real tag match. Also, I want to just really quickly say too, on that, Universal Studio, success. It feels like NWA-ish, right?
Yeah,
NWA. I would even say like I don't know what it is. It's like something interesting. It's like like an NWA kind of style. I don't know what it is. There's the environment,
or that like WCW Saturday Night, that show where it's just different enough that you can actually tell the difference between the shows. Because before, the difference between Dark and Elevation, there was no difference. So like now you're like, okay, you can see it. It's very Stark and Ricky Starks, but you can tell now. Sorry,
Tony Stark.
The other thing, this is from, now we're recording on a Monday, so we haven't been able to see Elevation or Dark, because they run those Monday and Tuesday nights. But Tulo, I had to take a little peek before we got on, and I watched a little bit of Elevation.
Love
First
that.
match. Now it's promising. So we have on commentary, you have Big Show's not on there because I think he actually wrestles. So you get Mark Henry, Eddie Kingston, and Shivani. And already I'm just like, because Mark Henry, he's so happy to be there, and he's like, man, it makes and they're in Arthur Ashe, so he's like, man, I want to come out of retirement. I'm surprised he didn't have the salmon jacket on. But first match is Thunder Rosa. Just watch it. It's a 4-minute squash, but as I told you, one of my guys, Thunder Rosa. But the crowd goes nuts for her, like
nuts.
Just as soon as you hear that, you see that Mexican flag on the ramp, and the music starts, and just the crowd pop. It's awesome. And so watch it for that.
I mean, Thunder Rosa is a perfect example of why Dynamite and Rampage should be having, well, definitely Dynamite. They should have 2 women's matches every week. I mean,
yes.
Enough is enough, guys.
Right.
Like, come on. Like, let's go.
She needs to be on TNT every week.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, by the way, Dynamite moving to TBS. See that announcement?
Yeah, and then originally both shows are going to move to TBS, but they're going to keep Rampage on TNT.
Love that.
Yeah, so
I fucking love that. I think that's, I don't know why I love it, but I love it. Makes no sense, but it's cool.
Yeah, just as long as they don't have to change that TNT title to like the True TV title or anything like that.
I know, dude,
or the Cartoon Network title.
Oh my God, that would be the worst.
I'm playing.
Is the Oprah Winfrey Network
yeah.
the own title?
Yeah.
What else? Did we miss any matches?
I mean, there was MJF Pillman Jr. we didn't talk about.
Yeah, I wasn't all too blown away by that. I mean, I kind of knew how it was going to go, right?
I think it was fine. It was a solid match, but it wasn't like, I think that's probably why we didn't remember to talk about it too much, because it was just fine.
Does Sammy Guevara win the TNT title off of Miro Wednesday on Dynamite?
I don't see it. I don't see it happening.
Here was a storyline that I wanted to play. So I found it interesting that Fuego del Sol got 2 matches against Miro.
Yeah.
And now Sammy's coming in. So I feel like there's a unique opportunity for like something to happen with Sammy and Fuego, but like it almost like Fuego throws in the towel for Sammy or something like that,
yeah.
you know, like trying to save him. And then it causes a Sammy heel turn or something like that. I will say Sammy's over, but I think it's really impossible to take that fucking TNT title off Miro right now. He's just doing way too good of work.
Yeah. I love it. I don't want it to end. Like, that's the thing is like with those champions like that, you know, I want to see him have it for a while longer. I was like, I'm not tired of seeing him do his thing right now, you know?
Yeah, me neither, dude. I'm all in. I really don't know I think it's Orange Cassidy for second, but I don't really know what else is happening on Dynamite this week, but I'm just fucking pumped, dude. I'm really pumped about this past week. It's really cool to see Long Island and New York and Queens getting so much love and shout out. I was like, there was all that fucking Chicago's the best wrestling town in the fucking world talk. And New York took that shit personally, dude. 21,000 people showed up to that stadium. That was the loudest shit I've ever heard, man.
Yeah.
They're singing Judas. Oh, I did want to bring up Gamebred's knee. That thing was dope. When he hit that Gamebred, what's his name? Masvidal that hit Jericho with the knee.
Yeah.
So this top American top team, dude, like I think I'm liking what's going on here, man. I mean, it was kind of lame, like some of this, like the ganging up. You could tell these are real fighters, like so it's weird. Like they're obviously not trained to like make things look more believable, but at the same time, it's like, where's this going? Who knows? But I don't care. It's fun.
Yeah. And well, my problem is like I'm not an MMA dude, so I don't know who these people are. Like I know who Paige Van Zandt is. I recognize that name, but that other guy that came out, what was his name again? See,
Jorge Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal is the guy that won the baddest motherfucker title against Nate Diaz.
Okay,
and The Rock came out with the title and presented it to.
Now I understand it.
But yeah, Jorge Masvidal, and he used that knee because he beat Ben Askren, who was like a guy that was talking a lot of shit, and he hit Ben Askren, like bell rang. And he like pretended like he wasn't going to do anything. And he ran after Ben Askren and hit him square in the head, knocked him out instantly.
Okay.
So that's like.
People know. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just not me. It was like.
It's a crazy crossover.
Yeah. For some reason, I cannot get into MMA because I'm just like. I love it. I don't want to see people actually beat each other up. Yeah. I want to see them pretend to beat each other up.
Yeah. It's. Well, I like watch UFC and I'm like, you know, like just all the time. Like I think some like
I'll tell you a little story just real quick and then we can wrap it up. But something I talk about a lot on Stokes County Boys is King Video Station and tanning. So the video store for some reason also had tanning beds in the back, which I think is one of the funniest things. So I talk about it a lot. So. But anyways, I would, you know, a lot of times I would rent like professional wrestling VHSs, you know, I'm catching up on all the stuff I missed, you know. But one of the things I started really getting into were like, you know, when Dan Severn and Ken Shamrock were like in WWF. So I'm like, I want to see one of these like Ultimate Fighting things. So it's probably like Ultimate Fighting 3 or something like that. And it's a match between Severn and Shamrock. And if that wasn't the most boring thing I ever saw in my life, I think it was like real early days of MMA when they were just like, I don't know what they were doing, but they weren't doing anything. They were just trying to.
There wasn't even weight classes back then.
Oh, no. But they were just trying to avoid like touching each other. You know, they were just playing like this extreme defense. And I was just like, that may have turned me off from it for a long time.
For what, like 20 years?
Yeah, sorry. So
yeah, man, it's fun. It's cool. It's cool to see this kind of crossover. I like the consistency. I like how it hasn't really taken up too much of the TV time, but it's cool, man. It's different. It's not focused around one person. It's focused around the whole thing. So it takes a lot of the pressure off the situation. So I'm here for it.
Yeah, no, I'll wait to see what happens. I trust the process. I'll trust the process.
All right, man.
Where can people find you?
Yeah. At Tiptoe with Tulo on Best is on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me on there. I do a lot of wrestling stuff on there. And then Cal Podcast. Catch me on either the regular episodes, but also we have an announcement coming for the bonus episodes. That's going to most likely be Newman and myself doing the bonus episodes now.
Awesome.
So, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I think that's it. That's where you can find me. What about you, Phil?
Yeah, I mentioned it before. I can't help it. At Stokes County Boys on Instagram, at SC Boys Pod on Twitter. Listen to the show. Listen to this week's episode. We got Patrick telling an awesome story about writing to Brian Pillman as a kid that you'll want to hear. So,
dear Brian.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It gets better. So there's one part I was telling you about it earlier, too low, before we were recording, and I've purposely left something out because I want you to hear it from Patrick tell this story, and I just lose it.
I can't wait, dude. I can't wait to listen. If you guys haven't listened, make sure you tune in. It's a great podcast, a lot of fun. And honestly, if you're listening to this, you probably already listened to it because this is going to be out on the Stokes County Boys pod feed. So
at least for a little while.
In the near future, I'm hoping probably within the next week or two, we'll have our own platform because this has been too much fun. I am pumped for Dynamite. I'm pumped for Rampage. Grand Slam was a grand success.
Yeah.
We got Full Gear coming up, I think 11/13 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yeah, we get to watch Dark and Elevation this week, so we'll have even more to recap. And yeah, I don't really have a sign off yet.
No.
No.
Not yet.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego. Hey, Marks, go fuck yourself. All right.
Yeah.
Nah, we love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, same thing as last time. Feedback is great. If you're into it, tell your friends, your AEW friends, share it along, and then we'll have way more coming up soon. Peace out.
Homework is sorry. I'll just cut that out.
Go. Give it the homework.
No, I was going to say your homework is, well, obviously listen to it, but your homework is just tell 2 friends. Maybe one of them will listen.
Well,
yeah.
Perfect. I'm holding up 2 fingers. 2 fingers for 2 friends, and 2 friends who talk about AEW. That's us.
And then they tell 2 friends, and then
it's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
All right. Peace out. Thanks, Philip. I'll check you later, man.
Yeah. Take care.